What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Impact Wrestling review. Some big announcements for tonight's show, especially leading into Sacrifice that will be on this Saturday on Impact Plus. What do Impact really have planned, I guess, for this big announcement? Which I'm going to have a lot to say about that when we get towards the end of this show, because I got some interesting thoughts on this and some concerns also, okay? So I will get into that. But we do kick it off, though, tonight with Tasha Steelz versus Jazz out there. Basically, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz are going to be going against Jazz and Jordan Grace this Saturday for the tag team titles. Pretty good match, I will say. Out there, Jazz ended up getting the STF for the win, basically telling me that Kiera and Tasha are still going to be retaining the tag titles and whatnot. But a good little match and whatnot. Of course, Kiera tried to get it involved, and Jordan Grace stopped her, so not bad. Next, though, we got Trey Miguel, who was in the back. Basically, he saw that Sam dude who was where is he from? Well, last week when Sammy Callahan was at Trey's I guess wrestling school and whatnot, beating up the trainers and everything. I guess there was this one dude named Sam, and he asked if Sam was okay. He said, "Oh, I've been with Sammy all week, basically," and that he's loyal to Sammy Callahan, and start repeating some of his words and saying like, Trey, it's because you lack passion out there, okay? You're just lacking it. And Trey said, you don't want to do this, all right? But if I have to fight you to get this settled out in your head, I guess I got to do it then. So apparently this Sam Beal dude is now brainwashed by Sammy Callahan. But right after that, we got a video package for both Rich Swann and Moose for their title match. Pretty good, I will say that. Not bad. But we got a tag team match then with Rohit Raju and Shira versus James Storm and Chris Sabin. Good match. I kind of figured Storm and Sabin were going to get the win right here. I actually like the finish of it with Storm doing a lung blower and then Chris Sabin getting a cradle shock for the win. So good tag match, I'll give it that. But after they did their Impact Plus of the Week thing, they went to Violent by Design, who were beating up Diener, or I guess still teaching him about the whole disease and everything and what he needs to do. But next thing you know, James Storm and Chris Sabin come in and interrupt, saying like, "Hey man, I don't know what you're doing to Diener, man. You're just taking stuff away from him. He gets so close and you take it away," which is kind of funny. Wasn't Storm doing this? Had his own little type of cult group in the past, so it's kind of funny that he's kind of telling Eric Young and them to stop. Like, no, you can't do this, man. Dude, when you were part of that Revolution thing, weren't you doing that? Even that little DCC group, if I remember, also, I don't know how much that really did, but I mostly remember the Revolution group of him, quote unquote, brainwashing people and whatnot into this cult. So basically, as Storm was still talking, then Diener ended up attacking him as Eric Young and crew jumped um, Chris Sabin and James Storm, leaving them there. So Violent by Design getting upper hand on them. We'll get that back into them in a second. Brian Myers was complaining to Scott D'Amore in his office about, the match with Eddie Edwards, saying he needs to be erased. And like, okay, how about this? You're going to be in a harmless match. Basically, you're just in a no DQ match when you look at it. So there are no rules. It's going to be a sacrifice, and I guess Myers is going to have to do it then. Trey Miguel went against Sam Beal as Sammy Callahan was out there first. Welcome everybody here to the Impact Zone. And that, he thinks Trey's a quitter. So why don't you go against Trey's trainee right here, Sam Beal, his protege, which Sam tried to attack Trey from the back. But Trey ended up getting his finisher on him and having him tap out quickly. He went towards Sammy Callahan, but once again, the teleporting stuff continues more and more. They're really getting too goofy with this teleporting stuff, if you ask me. But what Callahan teleports himself to the ring and power drives Sam Beal, and then he teleports himself out, and Trey's looked all crazy and whatnot, so he doesn't really know what to do. So he just kind of sits there looking very, very, very confused then right after. So I guess this feud will continue one way or another with this teleporting stuff. I liked it better when he was attacking the, school students and stuff last week, but now we're going back to teleporting. Chris Sabin and James Storm were pissed off. Basically, you know what? There's not going to be any, machine gun salutes or sorry about your damn luck. It's going to be us whipping your ass as sacrifice. And Jake something, listen, I've dealt with these guys before. and I think you guys could use the help. So basically, it's going to be leading to a 6-man tag this Saturday now against Violent by Design. So we've seen a lot of Storm and Saban throughout the night. I'll give them that, but they do have a purpose in leading into this Saturday. Maybe Jake Something will turn on them and join Violent by Design. I'm not really sure, but it could look like that. We got a contract signing between the Good Brothers and FinJuice. Listen, I don't know how much of this is taped because I do know that FinJuice are back in Japan right now, in that New Japan Cup tournament. So is Sacrifice live, or I don't know what's going on with that. Because I know they're in the tournament, so we know they can't be at two places at the same time. So is Sacrifice live? I don't know, but the Good Brothers though, and like I said, Good Brothers and FinJuice had the contract signing. They took a lot of shots of bourbon whiskey and everything. Just going over the contract and whatnot. But then of course, what was it? FinJuice ended up throwing their drinks at the Good Brothers. They start the brawl. My only problem with this show, and it's almost like every week with this show, when they do these kind of segments and whatnot, enough of the bad background music. It's really that bad though. That music, I don't know where they come up with that background music, but it's louder than the action most of the time, and it just sounds really, really bad. They need to get rid of that. Next though was the best match out of this entire show was Ace Austin and Chris Bay. This was enjoyable. I had fun watching this. This went on for like almost 10, 15 minutes, I believe, and this was great. Now I know they said, Swan told not Swan, Bay told Ace last week, I bet you can't win without Madman Fulton. So Fulton was in a chair throughout most of the match as we got a one-on-one with both of these two. Now it was ended by kind of a distraction finish, given that, TJP came out and sat there. Ace got distracted, and, Fulton went after him. But before Ace could hit the fold, Chris Bay hit him with a cutter, and then the art of finesse, basically a big cutter off the springboard for the win. So this was a great match. This was fun, okay? I like this match a lot between Ace and Chris Bay. More of this. We need more of this on the show, okay? This was somewhat almost of a pay-per-view quality, almost exhibition style of match in a way. So I had really much fun watching this match. This was great, and Chris Bay getting the big upset win, that was cool. So I like that match. But then we went back to Swingers Palace. Swingers are holding that wad of cash for some reason. As Josh Alexander basically, I still have my eyes on that title and whatnot, so you need to watch out. Rohit was pissed at Shira, saying, like, I didn't bring you back to India just to do this. Basically, Shira says, I don't owe you anything, and leaving him on the ground then. Susan went against ODB. It's kind of whatever. I'll say that. It wasn't really much to say. Of course, ODB was going to get the win, but then right after, Deanna and Kimberly attack. Jazz and Jordan Grace came out for the save, but next thing you know, Fire and Flavor came out. They attacked, Grace and Jazz as all the Knockouts champions stood tall, basically leaving them on the ground then. So good stuff before, post-attack, before, the Impact Plus show this Saturday. But next we got the final part of the show was the big announcement. What was the big announcement for Sacrifice? As Scott D'Amore was in his office getting ready to do this, Moose came out, said, you need to come out here and share the news. And, Scott D'Amore basically said, I want Swan in the ring. And, here's the thing. Swan is here. You both are holding world titles, and it's one too many. And that, Moose, you've been carrying around that TNA title for way too long now. So this is what's going to happen. At Sacrifice this Saturday, it will be the Impact and TNA World title on the line. Whoever wins will get both the belts. Basically, they're going to unify the championships. And here's another thing. At Rebellion, whoever wins this match at Sacrifice will be in a title versus title match against Kenny Omega. And basically, I guess both titles will be on the line for that. And Don Callis was the last part of the show basically saying, things are going as planned. Now, I have a lot to say about this, okay? Okay, now I figured they were probably going to do the whole unification of the titles and whatnot. But the whole Omega, and my friend Steven really predicted this about almost a week or two ago. He told me this, so his prediction is coming right. Because I did not notice the Omega logo during the Rebellion commercials. I really didn't. So now this is a title versus title thing. Okay, I get it. Yes, Rich Swann could win and he would get his payback and would face Omega. But at the same time, you do not need Moose losing right now, okay? Now, do I expect some type of a fuck finish maybe on Saturday? I would expect that with Kenny Omega coming out and attacking or something crazy because, A, Moose cannot lose right now. They have made Moose look very, very powerful. Yes, it looks kind of ridiculous that he's carrying the Funk Championship around him, and I don't even know why they're unifying both of these belts since this TNA title has not really been defended technically in that part of the show, but it's Moose carrying around, but they have made him look very strong. I like Swann, but it's almost like, does he need to be the one to go against Kenny? Yes, Kenny pinned him and whatnot, and stuff. He did pin him and everything, so I get why Swann would have payback, but here's what I see happening. I think it'll be a fuck finish, and I think it'll be a triple threat by Rebellion, and then they'll put all the belts on the line. Because, yes, I would like Moose to win. I really would like him to win, but I don't want Moose just winning the title here and then losing it in a month just to Kenny then, and it would make no sense, and it just feel like a waste then. Now, another reason why I say Moose needs to win is apparently his contract is coming up in June, I believe, and that's something to worry about right now. Because let's be honest, Impact has just been losing way too many people, especially their bigger names. And Moose is a very big name in this company right now. And the way they have booked them look very, very strong. Because listen, they have lost a lot of guys to AEW recent, a lot of them, okay? Especially in 2019. Around that time, that's when they started losing them all, okay? From LAX to Brian Cage to what Ali, I believe, like several. Come on, Ethan Page just happened. Okay, Ethan Page, and I've always questioned this partnership, and I know we saw more of Jacksonville Dixie on there tonight, basically trying to defend his way over that bullshit at AEW Revolution with that barbed wire match. I'm not gonna go into that right now, but I think we've all seen all over the internet of them trying to save as much face as they can and looking like idiots trying to make this into an angle, knowing that ending was a bunch of bullshit and whatnot. You don't believe me, go look it up and go check out my review if you want to hear more about that. But as I was saying, no, Impact has kind of lost a lot of talent to AEW recently, and I feel like Moose may end up being the same thing. So I don't know. They need to get Moose's contract up together right now and negotiate or something, because this is some guy you don't really want to lose right now. All right. And he needs to become the champion, because it would make no sense just to build Moose this up this long just for him to lose. Now, if it was a triple threat match at Rebellion, that what I would see happening, they could just have Rich Swann get pinned so they don't pin Moose, and maybe Omega can hold the belt around till Slammiversary, and then Moose can face Omega in the main event, and Moose can finally win the Impact World title and be the one to beat Kenny Omega, because obviously they want to do this whole belt collector thing with Omega and whatnot. Because here's the thing. If Moose loses, who else would be the person to beat Omega then for the title? Would it be Swann? I would still like to see a one-on-one match with these two, but at the same time, is Swann really the most credible to beat Omega? However you want to look at Omega being credible and whatnot, come on now. Yeah, we all know we can't, hey, they're all blaming him right now for building that bullshit ring, but like I said, I'm not going to go into that right now. But at the same time, it's many ways I look at this as good and bad, okay? But I think it needs to be like a fuck finish on Saturday. I really do. I don't think none of these guys need to go over clean. And like I said, I want Moose to become the champion. I do. But I don't want him winning the title right now just to lose to Omega at Rebellion. And I don't need him losing at the same time. So it needs to be some bullshit fuck finish on Saturday. Like I said, triple threat at Rebellion. If necessary, Swann gets pinned, protects Moose, and I know I repeat myself, but Moose basically goes on to Slammiversary and wins the title. But then again, like I said, his contract's up in June. Slammiversary is technically in June, to what my knowledge of. So I don't know, but they really need to protect Moose, okay? And they need to make sure they don't lose him, because that'd be a bullshit, boneheaded idea. Like I said before, this partnership is already questionable. I've questioned it for a long time. I've already talked about just, like I said before, Jacksonville Dixie showing up with every promo every week and whatnot. Now, trying to make an angle out of the whole barbed wire thing too, but it's been very one-sided in this partnership, and you've only had Gallows and Anderson hang around Omega on AEW. You have not seen yet any more Impact talent on there. I've been saying this before Hard to Kill, okay? Would it have killed you to put the machine guns and Rich Swann to come out there and attack? since they were building that matchup, and it's almost like AEW barely mentioned it but one time, or Impact didn't do any type of promotion ad on there and everything, but we see it every week with AEW on Impact. It makes no sense. I've already said why it feels like a very one-sided type of partnership right now. But given the match that was announced tonight, we shall see. But like I said before, they need to protect Moose and get that belt on him, or find a way to get that belt out on him without losing, okay? But that was the big announcement tonight of the unification of the titles and who will be facing Kenny Omega at Rebellion, okay? But that's what I have to say. What do you think about this whole big announcements that Impact had tonight for Sacrifice? And at least this does have ramifications into Rebellion. I'd rather have Moose still won the belt at Rebellion, but now given this circumstances here, I could see why they want to wait till Rebellion now for this champion thing, since that's their big news tonight. Because I thought they could at least wait until to put the belt on Moose at Rebellion. Okay, but like I said, it's a lot of changes now. So yeah, like I said, what do you think about this whole I don't know, partnership? Because it's just not looking good. Or maybe I shouldn't say partnership, but what do you think about this big announcement tonight for this whole Impact AEW title thing that's going to happen, and this Saturday, and this unification title thing too? Okay, so yeah. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, comment, subscribe. I've already said what I've had to say before. You know what to do. Like this video, everything. I will be back tomorrow night for an NXT and AEW Dynamite review. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night on there. But like I said, big announcements tonight, and I think I may have to review Sacrifice now, given the news that was just brought on this show tonight. Okay, so I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.